All right, Danny, we got to talk about the Orlando Magic signing Paolo Banchero to a massive $239 million max rookie extension. Could climb to $287 million if he makes an All-NBA team. MVP or DP award gets won by him next season as well. This is an all-in move by the Orlando Magic, Danny. This, I believe, it's a move that can move the needle in the Eastern Conference. And, I mean, Banchero, he's a guy that not only did he get an extra year added to this, but he also got that player option. It's the first rookie deal since Luka and Trey got that. So he is one of only 3 guys to get this. But on top of that, you're locking him in after getting Desmond Bane. And you look at the roster that they have in Orlando now. Franz Wagner, obviously, there for a bit longer as well. They added Tyus Jones to help with their very, very minuscule offensive output this last year. At one point, Banchero, I know he was injured at one point this year, but then averaging about 30 points a game. And in that first round series against Boston, it's now, I think, 7 straight playoff games for him over a couple of years with 25 points. It's the longest streak in Magic history, or at least he's tied for it. It's not a sexy market, Danny, but I got to say, this is a move that makes Orlando, for me, an immediate contender in the East.
Well, yeah, I mean, the East is wide open, whether you're talking about Dame's injury, Hallie's injury, Tatum's injury. But there's also this facet of it. The Orlando Magic now have $150 million committed to Franz Wagner, Jalen Suggs, Paolo Banchero, and Desmond Bane.
Second apron.
Start the clock.
Yeah.
They have 2, maybe 3 years. And that's the thing about this new CBA. And weirdly enough, Draymond Green was on Threads, of all places, and wrote like 3 pages on Threads and didn't really say much, but in a roundabout way, he was like, I should have been the president of the players union, taking a shot at CJ McCollum. And look, I mean, there are some people out there like, well, the BRI is the BRI. Like, they got, X% of the income and that's what they get, blah, blah, blah. But the ramifications of the CBA is like, the way that the player side of it sold it was, hey, there's more money, which means there's a trickle-down effect and the guys in the middle will get more. It's like, no, that's not happening. Because if you look right now, the guys in the middle are the ones that are not getting deals. You're not like, you've got RFAs, restricted free agents, in Cam Thomas, in Josh Giddey, and Jonathan Kuminga. None of them are getting signed.
Nope.
And you're seeing that this is what I expected. I said this over the last year. The guys who got those bigger deals, those $40+ million deals, you just kind of gave them to them, whether it's Zach LaVine or Michael Porter Jr., those types of players, good players. And I kind of put Porter Jr. at the bottom of that list, and LaVine is a guy who's very talented, but injuries and fit have always been kind of a question for him. But those deals that used to get handed out are no longer getting handed out. The guys that are at the very top, the Paulos, the Franz Wagners, the young up and coming stars, the SGAs, those guys, they're going to get paid. There's no doubt about it. But if you're looking at the Orlando Magic, they are not the Boston Celtics or the Golden State Warriors or Los Angeles Clippers from these massive markets that have owners with all the money in the world that are spending like crazy and da-da-da. The ramifications for this, the Magic, is they are now pot committed. There's no like, well, we can kind of do this, we can kind of do that. It's like, and the worst of these situations you're seeing play out in Phoenix, where you've got Matt Ishbia came in and it's like, I know better, I'm going to spend, I'm going to do this. And the new CBA came in and punched them in the face, and now they're talking about waiving and stretching Bradley Beal's $11 million over the next 5 years, which the Bucks did with Damian Lillard. And I think you are basically loading the gun that you are going to use to off your franchise with. Like it is
playing with a dangerous game here.
Yeah, it's not Russian roulette. There's a round in every chamber. There's no getting away from it, because like you are throwing $22 million a year down the drain. It is gone. It is like in Portland, in a significantly less restrictive CBA era, they waived and stretched Andrew Nicholson, and that prohibited them from like being more active in free agency or facilitating trades. There's always this little buffer of like, that
they still have a mill from Didi Lozada on the cap for this year.
It's like $230,000.
Okay, sorry,
but it was waived and stretched. But it's like, I think it was like $1.3 million or something like that was waived and stretched.
So you see it done with smaller contracts, but having it done this big. But isn't that, speaking of Phoenix really quickly, isn't that a situation where they don't want him on the team anyways? So clearing up any kind of space
they can't do anything with him because he's got a no trade clause.
Exactly.
Because he's owed, $53 million over the next 2 years, something like that. 53, 55, something outrageous. Again, one of the old CBA deals.
Yeah.
even with you're talking about the Orlando Magic, yeah, I mean, you've got a ton of injuries. The only teams that are, I would say, clearly better than them, it might only be team. Like, everybody wants to put the Knicks in there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, are the Knicks that much better than the Orlando Magic right now?
I mean, I like their roster, but
I mean, you add Desmond Bane, who's like a fringe all-star.
the Knicks can certainly score at a higher clip than Orlando can. Orlando was so bad on offense. Metrics-wise, they were bottom 5 on offense the entire year.
But they also they didn't have Suggs, and they added Desmond Bane to it.
It's true.
You add
and Tyus Jones.
I mean, you add two very high-level players in Jalen Suggs. Like, Jalen Suggs is new age Drew Holiday.
Yes,
that's what he is. Like, if his shot, like the growth that he showed before he got hurt and basically missed all of last year, they add him to this. Desmond Bane continues to be the player that he is. Franz and Paolo continue to evolve and be the player. Like, they aren't at their peaks yet. Paolo's 23. Franz, I think, just turned 24.
Yes.
So they are still incredibly young, which is terrifying because you've now got a 3-year window with guys that in 3 years are just entering their prime.
Well, and during that 3 years.
And what do you do with them? Like, is the CBA going to be so restrictive now that in 3 years you have to decide whether or not you're going to trade one of Franz or Paolo?
And during that 3-year window, you're essentially not able to add anybody else, right? If they go over the second apron, there's no mid-level exception. Like, and I guess, do you see this core, Wagner, Bane, Suggs, and Banchero, as the guys that can get it done in Orlando? Are they still an ancillary piece short? Like, how far is their ceiling? And if you're talking, well, it's only 2 or 3 years until they have to blow this up, because you look next season, they are a couple 100,000 into the second apron. So this gets bad really quickly. This is obviously
and you can't stay up there for a long time.
No,
like that's the whole thing of this. And it's like,
and I can't remember who the Magic's owner is, but they cannot afford to make a luxury tax payment to Boston.
It's the Amway family. Like,
maybe they could, but they certainly don't want to.
No, again, they're not a team historically that's been a team that pays a ton out. Like, that's been a big deal of that. But it sucks because like the core of this team, Suggs, Franz, Paolo, is homegrown. Now you're being punished for because we drafted really well. We're now going to be forced to decide, and now this proliferation of talent like just keeps going out, keeps going out. Like, and again, I don't want to like I don't like the Big Three era, and I don't like big markets hoarding talent. But it's like
it certainly isn't a big market.
I mean, teams like Oklahoma City and Orlando are going to get punished for drafting well, and that just seems very dumb and counterintuitive.
But is that more because of the CBA?
Oh, it's the CBA.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. I don't think, guys, love me some Damian Lillard, but like I was saying 10 years ago, there's going to be athlete salaries at some point hitting $50 million a season. They aren't worth that. I'm sorry. I get it.
In BRI, they are. But
yes,
the problem is it isn't the high-end salaries because it's just percentage. Like the number, like the number itself doesn't matter because there's X amount of money that comes in, whether it's TV deal, merch, all of the things.
The medium guys aren't getting the money, like you said. That's the Matisse Thybulles are making 10 instead of 20.
And that's the prohibitive part of all of this is that, you have guys that are taking significantly less while the big guys continue to eat. And it's like the above mid-level. So mid-level is 14.1. Like the $15 to $25 million a year guy just doesn't exist.
No.
Like, if you look at all the contracts that were just signed. And yes, this free agent class was down, but I mean, even like a really, really high-end role player like Jabari Smith Jr. Well, you got 115 or 125.
Yeah, 110, 120.
But that's the only one out there that's like that. Like, you just don't see that many of them anymore. And it's really interesting to kind of see where this stuff is going to go. And I don't think it's going to go well for the top tier guy going forward.
So do you think that, I mean, I'm not so much thinking about the Knicks. I'm thinking about the Pacers without Tyrese Halliburton next year. And we'll get to the Pacers here in just a second, kind of use this as a transition. Without Miles Turner now, do you think Orlando can take up the guard that Indiana left? Because now...
Why not?
Yeah, you're essentially leaving your guard play to what? TJ McConnell and Ben Mathurin, who's playing for an extension, but like... just not as many horses in the stable there for Indiana this season.
You've got Nembhard, Nesmith, and Pascal. Like, they'll be feisty, plucky, but like...
Yeah.
In the pecking order in the East, Cleveland is going into next season as it stands right now. Cleveland is far and above the best team in the East. There's no doubt about that. If the dark horse thing happens and somehow LeBron ends up in Cleveland, they're going to be the runaway favorites in the Eastern Conference. But after that, you have the Knicks and the Magic. Then after that, you probably have the Hawks. After that, it's a big shrug. Probably the Pistons, who, Malik Beasley was a very important part of their team, and like they had to scramble and go get Duncan Robinson. It's like, okay, we got to get a shooter. And it's like all of the positive momentum, not all of, some of the positive momentum around Detroit. Like they're still trying to find a few things.
Yeah.
But that's the Eastern Conference in a nutshell, is that after the first 3-4 teams, after the first 3 teams, after Cleveland, New York, Orlando, how that slices up and how that changes, I don't know where the hell it's going to go, to be honest. In the East, like the win totals in the East, if you threw the Blazers in the East, they're probably a 500 team.
Yikes. That's kind of crazy to think about.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.